Good morning, my dear students. A very good day to all of you. I really hope you all are staying safe at your home, enjoying doing the worksheets which are given to you by your teachers. I'm seeing your responses towards your worksheets. I'm very happy that you all are putting so much of efforts in completing the worksheets. So, in our last class, we have studied chemical properties. Today we also continue with chemical properties of metals and non-metals and uses of metals and non-metals. Okay, so let's start with the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Iron rods are rusted. Iron reacts with atmospheric oxygen and moisture to form iron oxide, which is commonly known as rust. Metals react with other elements in a variety of ways. Metal burns in the presence of oxygen to form metal oxides, which are basic in nature. For example, if you burn a strip of magnesium, magnesium will burn in oxygen to form magnesium oxide. If you mix water in it, it dissolves to form magnesium hydroxide, which is basic in nature. Similarly, when a copper vessel is exposed to moist air, a green coating forms on its surface. The coating form is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. You can see these are the iron nails, which are rusted. These nails got rusted too because of the presence of moisture present in air. Metals react with water, but all metals do not show the same kind of reactivity. For example, sodium reacts vigorously with water and oxygen and produces so much heat that it catches fire. That's why sodium is stored in kerosene, to prevent it from coming into contact with moisture and oxygen. Let's try an experiment. Take a trough. Fill half of it with water. Now, carefully cut a small piece of sodium and dry it using a filter paper. Then, wrap it in a small piece of cotton. Place the piece of sodium in the water trough. You will observe that sodium reacts vigorously with water, catches fire, and moves above the water, making a hissing sound. Now, touch the trough. It's hot. So, now you understand how much heat is produced in the reaction. When you introduce a red litmus paper, it turns blue, indicating that the solution formed is basic in nature. Be careful. You should stay away from the water trough during the reaction. It gets very hot. The man is cleaning the tap using a lime peel. The tap is looking dull because of the deposits of calcium salts in water. The tap is shining now. Lime juice contains citric acid. Acids reacts with salts of metals. The citric acids of the lime juice reacted with the calcium salt on the tap, and now the tap is clean. Metals react with acids such as hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid to give out hydrogen gas. Let's try an experiment to understand how this happens. Let's take 4 different metals: magnesium, iron, aluminium, and copper in 4 different test tubes A, B, C, and D, respectively. To these test tubes, we add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid using a dropper. Now heat the test tubes gently using a Bunsen burner. Hydrogen gas is liberated. But how do we know it's hydrogen? To test the gas, We introduce a burning splinter near the mouth of the test tube. The splinter put off with a pop. It shows that the gas is hydrogen. From this, we can conclude that metals react with dilute hydrochloric acid and liberate hydrogen gas. Please draw this table in your classwork copy. Do metals react with bases also in the same way that they react with acids? Yes, the reactions are quite similar. Metals react with bases such as sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. Let's verify this with an experiment. Prepare a fresh solution of sodium hydroxide in a test tube by dissolving 3 or 4 pellets of it in 5 ml of water. Into the solution, introduce a piece of aluminum foil. We now bring a burning splinter near the mouth of the test tube. The splinter put off with a pop. This shows that hydrogen gas was produced. Indeed, the reaction of metal with acids and bases are quite similar. But some metals such as sodium reacts more vigorously than others. Now let's do an interesting experiment. Let's take 5 beakers A, B, C, D and E. Let's take copper sulfate in beaker A and B and add zinc granules in beaker A and iron fillings in beaker B. We'll take zinc sulfate in beaker C and E. Add copper turnings in beaker C and iron fillings in beaker E. In beaker D, take ferrous sulfate solution with copper turnings. Now, you can observe that the blue color of the solution in beaker A has disappeared. This is because zinc replaces copper from copper sulfate. In beaker B, the solution turned green. This is because iron has replaced copper from the copper sulfate solution. There is no change in beaker C, D and E.
Now that we've learned so much about metals and non-metals, I'm sure you must have guessed a few important applications for both. If you're asked for the uses of metals and non-metals, don't you think the list would be too long to note down? Yes, but we will still try listing a few important uses in general. Let us begin with the metals first. Can you tell me the most important physical properties of metals? Yes, luster, ductility, malleability, conduction of heat and sonority. So can we mention a few uses based on these properties? The fact that they are lustrous makes them useful for making jewelry. Yes, metals are lustrous, which means they generally shine. We can also make wires out of metals due to their ductile nature. And what if we beat the metals with a heavy hammer? We don't have to worry. They are hard enough to not break. Also, the fact that they are malleable can help us form thin sheets out of the metal that is hammered. And where do we use their property of conduction of heat? Yes, we can make kitchen utensils out of metals so that cooking becomes possible and convenient. Also, the bells used for conveying messages in various forms are made out of metals due to their sonorous nature. Now, can we say that metals are used in almost every commodity that we use in daily life? Absolutely. So are metals more important than non-metals? Not really. Even non-metals play a major role in our daily lives. Just imagine if we had no oxygen in the air. There would be no life. Not only this, but several important processes like purification of water and synthesis of important chemicals employ many non-metals. Many fertilizers and even pesticides are made out of non-metals. Non-metals have an extremely important use in medicine as well. Do you know the purple colored solution that is applied on wounds? Yes, that antiseptic solution contains iodine, which has germicidal properties. So yes, metals and non-metals both play extremely important roles in making our lives better in their own different ways.
So, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Now, please do the worksheet which I am going to give you after this video. Complete it and send it to me. Okay? Bye-bye. See you. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.